Hello and welcome to CNN News 18 Cricket Next. Action will get underway at the MH Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai tomorrow when Gujarat Titans take on Chennai Super Kings in the all-important qualifier 1. Before we get to the cricketing side of things, today we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Anand Nair. He's the general manager of Crown Plaza Hotel. Now, why are we here at Crown Plaza? We are here at Crown Plaza because this is the one hotel where Chennai Super Kings have stayed for more than 10 years. Yes, more than 10 years. That's a lot of time. And Mr. Nair has seen action unfold from close quarters. So before I keep on speaking, I think it'll be good that Mr. Nair shares his experience of hosting Chennai Super Kings at this magnificent venue. And why I say magnificent, because state of the art infrastructure and everything is just top notch. So let's hear it from Mr. Nair about how it was to host the likes of MS Dhoni and Suresh Raina at this venue. Welcome to the show, sir. And quickly asking you, how has it been? Firstly, do you watch cricket?
Of course I do. I'm a big fan.
And being a fan and then handling the team and the logistics which come along with it, how was that? How mad a ride was that?
To be frank with you, it was an amazing experience. It was a hugely learning experience because, CSK, to host a team like CSK, handling the team, handling superstars in the team and their requirements is just one part of it. But along with that, handling the non-residents and local crowd that come in to see them, to catch a glimpse of them, at least to take a selfie with them, handling that part of it was a completely different ballgame altogether. So, during the time that they used to stay with us, this whole place used to be buzzing. Every single restaurant is packed throughout, every meal period. There are people always waiting outside the gates, just hoping to see a glimpse of them when they get into the team bus or when they come out of the team bus. You'll see them, following the team bus as soon as it leaves the hotel. The hotel was always in such a state of buzz and activity during the entire period that they stay with us.
Just talking about activity, the place where we are standing right now is one of the presidential suites of the property, one of the most, the expensive room, I would say. But this was painted all yellow when CSK were staying here. Why yellow? Because this was the team room where all the big talk used to happen. The analysts used to sit. And I don't know if you can see, there's a small room to my right there, right behind. It's kind of a study right now. And that's the place where MS Dhoni used to play his PlayStation and Xbox 360 on off days. So, sir, you did tell me that, this room was completely yellow when team was here. So what used to happen here?
So basically, it was like an activity room for the entire team. We used to have, the entire, look and feel of the room was completely changed with the CSK branding, with the photographs of the team, with their colors, etc., etc. So used to bring in a pool table, table tennis table, activities like that, so that whenever the team comes together, they get to play, they get to relax, they get to catch up on some talk. And Dhoni also used to come and spend a lot of time here. So was Raina and almost all the team members. So this was like a common meeting ground. And what we used to do is this entire floor used to be blocked for the team members. So we used to have like a dedicated, complete 2 floors that was given only to the team, so they can move around freely. And since it is access controlled, we used to make sure that nobody else would come into the floor or have access to that floor. So they have complete privacy and they have total freedom to move around between the rooms.
Just this was one question which I always had in mind. When it comes to players staying in a hotel, obviously it's not a small boutique property, it's a big property, and you just can't block the complete hotel up. So how do you manage people coming in, and do people stay when team is around? Because I'm sure you're not like selling the complete hotel off to them, so people are still there. So how do you strike that fine balance of maintaining your day-to-day business and balancing and juggling with CSK team too?
So like what I was talking about the restaurants earlier, even the rooms used to be, chock-a-block whenever the team is here. Because everyone knows that, the team is staying with us and this is the home hotel for CSK for many years. Always used to book rooms and come and stay with us just to, to be able to get a glimpse or catch up with them and things like that. So we have to be very, very careful about the security part of it. We had to make sure that they are in a safe and secure environment. While at the same time, you can't generally be rude or, as hoteliers, we can't treat the other guests differently. So we have to be very careful in terms of making sure that they do not intrude into the privacy of the players or into some of the area that they're using. The biggest, the problem that we used to face was how do we get the players out, let's say when they're going to the gym or working out of the pool or, going to the match for the practice sessions and coming back. So we used to have a separate fire exit which nobody knows about.
Okay.
And the team used to be taken through the elevators, which used to be dedicated only for them or blocked for them, so that nobody else will get into that, and then whisk them away while the rest of the crowd is waiting at the main
Outside.
gate or the main porch.
You know, this anecdote of yours reminds me that MS Dhoni movie where he kind of used a similar exit. Sushant used a similar exit to kind of whisk away from the Taj Hotel. He was staying in Delhi during the shoot. So, such mad things need to be done to kind of maintain the decorum.
MS Dhoni knows the layout of this hotel probably as good as me or anybody else in this hotel, because all the back areas, all the back of the house elevators, they used to find that to be much safer to move around, from one place to the other. And we had to kind of form a human chain corridor where not just our security but the entire team, hotel staff used to come and form, just so that we give them a safe passage, and they are not, nobody else would come in and intrude them on them or their privacy during that time.
What happens to the staff? How many weekly offs do you kind of gulp during that period? Because you can't really afford to have the best of your people sitting at home when the best of the players are in. So what happens then? How do you manage the staff and everything?
That happens because during an entire season when they are staying with us, it's a minimum of about 2.5 to 3.5 months, right? So there are matches that you play at home and there are matches that play away. So we manage it with that. But obviously, there are some dedicated team members they are very comfortable with, and we make sure that they are there to take care of their specific requirements.
You just mentioned about one presidential suite, which was the team room. Now, I'll just remind and inform my viewers that there's another presidential suite right next to this, which used to be the Dhoni presidential suite. And there's a very interesting Dhoni story, which is again associated with the number 7. So, sir, if you could just throw some light on the numbering of that presidential suite and what you used to do before Dhoni used to check in.
All right. So, that's something which is known only to all of us in the hotel, where this room number is 2700, and the one next to that, which is the presidential suite, is 2701.
Okay.
And that was Dhoni's favorite room, because that's got enough space for his gym equipment to come in, his rowing machine to come in, etc. And he used to find that that's the most comfortable thing, especially since the team meetings are always in this room, so it's like right next door. And his doors are almost always open for anyone to walk in and sit with him and talk. So there's sufficient space there. The seating room, the dining room, etc. had a lot of space. The only problem that we faced was that that room number was 2701. And Dhoni had this thing for 07. So what we used to do is, just before he checks in, we used to switch the room number plates of 2701 and 2707, so that from the time he checks in to the time he checks out, this room is 2707 and not 2701. And that's always been the way. Every time he's come and stayed with us, we've always made sure that this room number will be 2707 itself.
Sir, just quickly before I take much of your time, players are one thing, but then you also have an entire battalion traveling with them. You have probably physios and strength conditioning coaches apart. You have the families traveling. So, for example, Dhoni would travel with his family, Raina would travel with his family. So, how kind of difficult does it get to treat families of star players, or is there a kind of intimidation within the staff, or how comfortable is that whole experience, spending time with them, catering to their requests, making them comfortable? How is that experience, the family members and everyone?
It's always a mixed bag, but then by and large what we have seen is that they are very sweet people. And especially since they keep coming back to the hotel and they stay with us for an extended period of time, they almost become like family members of ours. Once we understand their requirements and we start catering to that specific requirement, then it's pretty easy to manage that. For example, in this presidential, the GPS itself, there are 2 bedrooms on top, and one bedroom has been converted like a kid's room. With all sorts of stuff in it. Especially the CSK used to brand it in that same way, with those with the stars and moon and all that on the ceiling of the room and things like that. So that was the dedicated room for the families, for the children to be in, while the rest of the the players are doing their work. Be it their shopping, be it they want to go out to a mall or whatever. So our security used to be also involved in that, making sure they have safe passage, making sure there is somebody with them, accompanying them back and forth, because they probably wouldn't know Chennai the way our people do. So we had also played a equally good role in terms of ensuring that they are taken care of during the time they would step out and do their shopping or their entertainment.
Last thing before I let you go, with Dhoni, comes a lot of things like we are still contemplating and guessing. Everyone is kind of, will he, won't he, will he play, won't he play? But he's in Chennai right now. And then there are numerous people kind of chasing to get that one glimpse of their favorite superstar. And now when you're handling the property where he's staying and people know that he's staying, how many calls do you get, do you used to get every day? Or, what would you tell your staff members? Because it's difficult for them to resist the temptation of not getting clicked with India's probably biggest superstar. So was there a code of conduct in place that, you wouldn't ask them to just disturb the players? Or how would you travel the people who are staying with you? And it's a big property, right? So you would have more people who are famous across different walks of life.
Well, that's something that we had to inform all the team for our team members also. But I think being in this industry, we always keep coming across a lot of such people. We deal with politicians, bureaucrats. We deal with a lot of celebrities, be it from the movie world, from the sports world. So I think by and large, our team members are very well entrenched in terms of understanding what to do, what not to do.
Okay.
And obviously there are a few situations where we had to step in and make sure that they will not cross the line, but by and large I think the team was also assured of the fact that as the hotel team, we will be there to take care of them and their privacy and ensure that nothing goes wrong with them.
One last Dhoni memory which you would like to share with our viewers. Your memory which will stay etched in your heart and you won't let it go.
For me, I think the simplicity of the man was something that always was an endearing thing that came across. Any point of time that he comes into the hotel, goes out, irrespective of what his stress levels are, if people walk up to him, ask for an autograph or a T-shirt is presented to him, he'll just quietly, simply sign it and move on. I mean, never a question of hey, don't disturb me or anything like that. He never does anything. It's just such a simple, sweet gentleman. I mean, that's something which has been the most endearing memory that I've had in terms of seeing him at close quarters and being with them.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking time out for us and discussing so many good details, which probably most of you would have been hearing. I heard it for the first time, so I'm sure you would have been hearing it for the first time too. But don't go anywhere. We still have some more people to talk to from this property. We'll be speaking to the head chef soon, who will tell us what Dhoni used to eat, whether it was a khichdi or the roasted chicken plate. So stay tuned and don't go anywhere.